Hello, everyone. This is Sander here, and I want to share a very special episode with you today, generated using AI. This is the show with Sander. Let's listen to this.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We all crave those moments of clarity, those bursts of insight where everything suddenly clicks. And you're here because you're not afraid to go deep, to really dissect the core ideas that drive success.
You want the substance, the real meat of the matter, without getting bogged down in the fluff. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're diving deep into the world of motivational speeches.
We're going to be dissecting a compilation of speeches from the Motiversity YouTube channel. It's called, get this, I Did It Alone, I Keep Going, Best Motivational Video Speeches Compilation.
Sounds pretty intense.
It is, and we're going to unpack the themes that run through these speeches, the driving forces behind this raw, unfiltered motivation. We're talking about self-reliance, about grit, about the intensely personal nature of achievement. We're going to figure out what makes these speeches so powerful. What is it about these messages that resonates so deeply with people?
Let's jump right in. One of the first things that hits you is this recurring theme of going it alone, of relying on yourself. You hear lines like, I've trained 99% of my life alone, or just a stark, be alone. And then there's this striking image of wolves who don't lose sleep over the opinions of a lesser species.
Yeah, that one definitely stood out.
It really grabs your attention, right?
Yeah.
And I think what it's getting at is this idea of forging an inner strength and independence that allows you to stay true to your path even when you're surrounded by doubt or criticism.
It's like building this internal compass that guides you, regardless of what the outside world is saying or doing.
Exactly. And this emphasis on self-reliance isn't just about physical training or solo endeavors. It's a broader principle of taking ownership of your own growth.
It's about that internal drive. You hear it in those commands to feed yourself, and not just literally, right?
Yeah.
We hear, nobody's going to feed us, you got to feed yourself, and then I don't need anyone. And finally, that powerful statement, success starts with you. It's all on you. It's like this call to radical self-responsibility.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into your intrinsic motivation, that internal fire that fuels you regardless of external rewards or validation. It's recognizing that while support and collaboration are incredibly valuable, the initial spark, the sustained effort, often comes from within.
And then there's this intriguing concept of seeking out solitude, even going to a dark space to confront your challenges. That sounds pretty intense.
It does, doesn't it? But I think what it's highlighting is the power of focused introspection. It's about stripping away all the external noise and distractions and really getting down to the nitty-gritty with yourself.
It's like having an honest conversation with yourself, even when it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. That dark space could be a metaphor for facing your fears, your limitations head-on, without the immediate comfort of external support. It's in those moments of solitude that you can gain the deepest insights and build that unshakable inner resolve.
Okay, so we've explored the power of being alone. Now let's shift gears to another central theme, this absolute refusal to quit. These speeches are overflowing with this raw determination. We hear things like, you cannot quit because you realize you have not reached the goal yet, or day in and day out, you got to keep on working. It's this constant drumbeat of persistence.
And that emphasis on relentless perseverance is crucial. It acknowledges that the path to achieving anything worthwhile is rarely smooth or straightforward. You're going to face obstacles, you're going to get knocked down.
Which brings us to that powerful line, if you're getting knocked down, so what? Rise up and get up.
It's the essence of resilience. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to it. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and moving forward with even greater determination.
And then there's that incredibly vivid image of a beast, someone who's been through hell and back, but is still grateful that their legs are working. It really gets under your skin.
That image really sticks with you, doesn't it? I think it embodies this indomitable spirit. It suggests that adversity can be transformative. The individual who emerges from intense challenges often develops a deep appreciation for their own strength and an unyielding refusal to be defeated.
It's finding that spark of gratitude even in the darkest of times.
Absolutely. And it ties into this recurring message that life itself is relentless.
Yeah, that's a sobering thought. We hear it explicitly. This life is relentless.
But it's not meant to be discouraging. I think it's about embracing the reality that challenges are an inherent part of the human experience. You're going to encounter setbacks, failures, doubts. It's about how you navigate those inevitable bumps in the road.
It's about that constant process of coming back, of not letting those setbacks define your journey.
Exactly. And then there's this fascinating reframing of pain. It's not just something to avoid, but potentially a pathway to something greater.
We hear lines like, after I've suffered, there is a reward. And then this call to use the pain to my advantage.
It's a pretty radical shift in perspective, isn't it? Instead of viewing pain solely as a negative experience, it's seen as a potential catalyst for growth, a test of your resilience, even a source of motivation.
It's like harnessing that discomfort, that emotional or physical pain, and turning it into fuel to propel you forward.
Precisely. It's about finding the opportunity for strength and learning within those difficult moments. Now, let's turn our attention to the personal nature of achievement. One of the key takeaways is that nobody's going to believe in you until you've already done it.
And that often, the initial part of the journey happens in a vacuum, with no applause, no awards. It's like you have to be your own biggest cheerleader at the beginning.
Absolutely. It highlights the importance of intrinsic motivation, that inner drive that pushes you forward, even when there's no external validation.
It's about trusting your own vision, your own instincts, even when the world isn't watching or applauding.
And that ties into this powerful point that external judgment often lacks context.
Yeah, that really resonated with me. The idea that they weren't there through the struggle, so what gives them the right to judge you? It's a reminder that people who haven't walked in your shoes, who haven't faced your unique challenges, may not have the full picture to offer meaningful judgment.
It reinforces the importance of staying true to your own path and not getting bogged down by the opinions of those who haven't shared your experiences.
It's about developing that inner resolve, that unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of yourself.
Exactly. It's about aligning your actions with your values, striving for personal growth and fulfillment, regardless of external accolades or recognition.
And then there's this really intriguing idea of making your dreams personal. We hear this powerful statement, when you get personal, you make it personal, everything changes. It's like taking ownership of your aspirations, making them a core part of who you are.
It's about infusing your goals with deep meaning and personal relevance. When your dreams are tied to something that resonates deeply within you, it unlocks a whole new level of commitment and motivation.
It's about connecting with your core values, your passions, and aligning your actions with what truly matters to you.
Precisely. And finally, on this theme of personal achievement, there's a focus on the internal relationship. It's not about external validation, it's about your relationship to yourself, what that relationship looks like.
It's about cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and inner peace, independent of external achievements or recognition.
It's about knowing yourself deeply, accepting yourself fully, and continuously striving for personal growth. That internal dialogue and self-understanding become paramount.
Now let's dive into the nitty-gritty of focused work and the sacrifices that often come with it. The speeches emphasize that nothing that you want will manifest itself unless you aim for it.
It's about translating desire into action. Intentionality is key. It's about being proactive, setting clear goals, and then putting in the consistent effort to achieve them.
And they talk about the importance of concrete commitment, of sticking with your goals even when the initial excitement wears off. That's a challenge so many people face. How do you maintain that dedication when the novelty fades?
It's about establishing routines, building habits, and cultivating a deep sense of purpose that can sustain you through those inevitable dips in motivation.
And then there's this rather stark analogy of the pie not getting bigger. We hear about the need for a disciplined, desperate, dangerous mentality to claim your slice.
It's a forceful way of conveying the sense of urgency and the competitive nature of pursuing ambitious goals.
It's like saying, hey, resources are limited. Opportunities are finite. You have to be hungry, you have to be relentless if you want to achieve what you set out to do.
Exactly. And they highlight the importance of the deposits and contributions that we make behind the scenes, all the unglamorous work that goes unnoticed.
Skip meals, the late nights, the time spent honing your craft instead of scrolling through social media. It's all the effort that nobody sees, but that ultimately lays the foundation for success.
Absolutely. And that leads to the call to divorce distractions, particularly in our hyper-connected world.
It's about consciously choosing to minimize those things that pull you away from your goals, that offer instant gratification, but don't contribute to your long-term vision.
It's about protecting your time and attention, focusing on what truly matters, And then there's the advice to avoid being a jack of all trades.
It's about focusing your energy, developing deep expertise in a specific area.
It's about prioritizing depth over breadth, mastering one thing at a time.
And finally, there's this beautiful image of working on oneself in silence. It's captured perfectly in the phrase, be quiet and work in science.
It emphasizes the importance of deliberate practice, of continuous learning, all done away from the distractions of the external world. It's about approaching personal growth with a thoughtful, analytical mindset.
Now let's shift gears to our final theme, the underdog mentality.
It's a powerful concept. It's about refusing to be defined by setbacks, by the limitations that others may try to impose on you.
They define an underdog as someone who refused to live in the setback and rebels against those limitations.
It's a mindset rooted in defiance, in resilience. It's about looking at challenges as opportunities for growth, for proving doubters wrong.
And they emphasize this empowering belief that all I have is all I need. It's about finding strength and resourcefulness within yourself rather than dwelling on what you lack.
It's about taking ownership of your circumstances, recognizing that you have the power to create the life you want, even if you start with seemingly limited resources.
And then there's this brilliant comparison of the two wolves, the one climbing the hill and the one already at the top.
They argue that the wolf that's still striving, the one who's hungry to reach the summit, is going to be far more driven than the wolf who's already achieved it.
It's the hunger, the drive, the burning desire that fuels the underdog.
Exactly. It's that relentless pursuit that often leads to the most extraordinary achievements.
And ultimately, the underdog refuses to live in the dark. They choose to see the light, the potential for something brighter, even when surrounded by negativity or doubt.
It's a conscious choice to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. It's about embracing the belief that you can create a better future for yourself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What are the essential threads that run through all of these motivational messages?
The core message is clear. It starts with self-reliance, with developing that inner strength and that unshakable belief in yourself. Then comes the absolute necessity of perseverance, of pushing through challenges and setbacks with unwavering determination.
We also see the importance of making your goals deeply personal, of connecting them to your core values and passions.
Focused work, minimizing distractions, and mastering one skill at a time are crucial for translating those aspirations into tangible results.
And finally, the underdog mentality, with its defiance, resilience, and unwavering belief in the possibility of achieving the seemingly impossible.
So, for you, our listener, who joined us seeking knowledge, seeking clarity, we hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights into the mindset that drives achievement.
These principles, extracted from the raw and powerful voices of these motivational speakers, offer a roadmap for navigating the challenges and triumphs of pursuing your own goals.
And that leads us to a final, thought-provoking question for you to consider.
Of these core principles, self-reliance, relentless perseverance, the power of the personal focused work, and the underdog spirit, which resonates most deeply with you right now.
And how can you apply that principle to a current goal or challenge you're facing? What is your pie that you're determined to claim?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep pushing forward.
Thank you, everyone who listened to this episode. I hope that you found this very informative, that you also felt that you like to share this with family and friends via different social networks. Remember to like, subscribe, follow. Leave a comment. Thank you for your time today, and until next time. This was The Show with Sander, a special edition. Until next time, ciao.